Michael Halpern, welcome to SHOWstudio.
Thank you for having me.
You are more than welcome, as I've said.
Thank you.
So today we're going to be talking about your Autumn/Winter 18 collection. Mm-hmm. Tell me a bit about how you felt and how it's been since the show happened.
Yeah, so it was the third season now, after I've graduated from uni. And you know, I thought kind of as time goes on, it would get every season would get a little chiller and it wouldn't be so crazy, but I think in fact it goes the other way. What's so interesting about the shows for me is that, you know, up until the morning of the show, we're max 15 people. So it's like Patty Wilson and, you know, who were, of course, she's become one of my closest friends, which has been amazing.
She does the styling for you.
Yep, she styles the show and we work with her and she's just magnificent. But it's weird because in styling and getting ready for the shows and everything, it's not that many people. And then the day of the show, in this huge venue, there's like, bam, 200 people working and hairstylists and makeup artists and photographers, and it becomes a very different thing the morning of the show, which is still for me like a little bit crazy, and there's so many people you don't know and everyone's touching the clothing and they all seem to know what they're doing and they're kind of like...
You feel a bit hands off.
Yeah, because I always think about the morning of the show. It's like whether I'm here or not, this is going to happen. It's on a train that's going 100 miles an hour and I can leave and go out to lunch.
You start to feel irrelevant.
Not irrelevant. I start to feel
like it's out of your control?
Yeah.
You're a bit of a control freak?
Yes, definitely a bit of a control freak. But what's really exciting is that with my team, and everyone really knows what they're doing, and everyone is there all the time. So it's kind of amazing that, you know, when everyone is getting dressed, everyone knows how to do it. Everyone knows what they're supposed to be doing. The jewelry is there. We work with Amaya French for the makeup, and she's so incredible and so chill and, you know, nonplussed at all. Yeah. So it's nice that everyone, there's no egos, there's no divas on anyone of the team, which is, it makes the show a really lovely thing, but it just freaks me out that there's so many people there. It's crazy.
So let's take ourselves to the venue. So the set was designed by Shona Heath.
Shona Heath, yeah.
Tell me a bit about the ideas for that, because I remember walking in and being like, what is going on? I've never seen something like it.
Yeah.
Clear plastics and flowers everywhere.
Yeah. So Shona is incredible. I mean, she's worked with us from the first show, actually. And what's amazing about her is that she sees kind of spaces and colors and how people would interact with what she's making in a way that I've never seen before. She's so sensitive and I don't want to say normal because that usually has a bad connotation, but she's so genuine, and you can talk to her and you can spitball with her, and her ideas are always so amazing because it's about the clothing and it's about how, you know, what we're doing for that season will look next to this kind of crazy pink kind of like insulation plastic. It was amazing. And what was so cool about this space is that it was in this little door in Soho that I would never have guessed.
How did you find the space?
Shona, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, Shona. I think she got it in one of these like packs that they send out saying this space is here and it's never been used for a catwalk show, and it was amazing. And Shona and I went alone to go look at it first. And it's crazy that you have 6 floors of this in this building. And
I remember climbing those tiny stairs to get up to the show.
It's really amazing. It was freezing before, like when we went.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it was like winter and there's nothing there. But it was incredible going to look at it, and there was so much soul in that building, and so much. You could feel that something really beautiful could happen there, and
it felt like there was a sense of spirit, and you know, you often been credited with evoking a nostalgia and a sense of the past, and it definitely there felt like there was something of old Soho there.
Yeah, and it's really cool to be able to do something as a small brand in such an extravagant space that it was amazing to have. I think it was like something like 10,000 square feet of space to play with, and all these different mezzanines, and
also I was interested in reading that you, I think you expressed that you wanted to evoke something of New York in the set, and also you're a New Yorker in London. So where did that tie in?
So I've always looked to a certain era in New York for reference, and it's where, you know, I've heard so many stories from my mom as I was growing up about that time in New York, but I am a London-based brand, so it's a nice kind of juxtaposition of using London and European things and then using American things and blending them together. But this season, for me, I really looked to a lot of American women for reference, like Angelica Houston and Nan Kempner and kind of those really iconic New York women. And it was really nice because that space in particular felt so New York, and I don't know why, and I don't go to many places in London that feel like that, but maybe that's, you know, just thinking about it now, it's because London is so much older than New York, and you can get these spaces that have such history and, you know, hundreds and hundreds of years of living there. Whereas this, you know, I think, and I might be wrong, it was done in the 60s, this building, or redone in the 60s to make it look like that.
And this synergy between London and New York that you're talking about, you know, in a lot of your references, it feels like you've brought this into the collection, and you've spoken a bit, you know, about your sense of being political minded. And I wonder how that worked in the way you were thinking about this collection.
Yeah, you know, I liked, you know, a lot of people can just look at the clothes and take it for face value, that it's glittery and it's extravagant and it's expensive and it's loud. And that's absolutely a part of it. I'm 100% a magpie, and I just love putting things together that shouldn't be together, and it maybe makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable. Certain colors we use together, just it would never go together.
There's definitely a lot of clashing.
Yes, and that's absolutely part of it, and what draws me to it. We make a lot of really ugly shit a lot of the time before we get to where it ends.
And then you refine the shit.
Exactly. You know, sometimes we'll make something in the studio, it'll just come to the end and just be hideous, just so bad, putting two embroideries together or using a specific lame with a certain kind of, I mean, it's awful. You get really some bad stuff.
What do you do with the bad stuff?
Oh, we keep it for sure. You can repurpose it, we reuse it for stuff. We do use kind of luxe fabrication, so you don't ever really want to throw away an expensive embroidery. I forgot the question now.
So we were talking a bit about you're being political minded in the collection.
Yes.
That's where I want to go with that.
Yes, got it. You know, I'm not someone who knows the most about politics, and I can't talk about what's happening on the Hill in DC right now. You know, I don't know details, but I just know an overwhelming feeling of what I feel about American politics and the way my friends and my family, and living here, you get a very interesting perspective on it because everyone immediately just wants to talk about Trump.
Yeah, sure.
And wants to talk about our government and how awful it is. And that we have a president that can get away with everything that he's gotten away with, which is really mind-boggling to everybody. So I think the way that the work kind of expresses that and kind of, at least for me, is a bit cathartic, is because you have something that is so awful that's happening in my home country, and the way to look at these women who are so powerful and who don't stand for this and would never stand for this, it's a way to celebrate them, and it's a way to look to them for direction and guidance in these things. It's kind of like WWND, what would Nan do? Kind of how would Nan have handled these situations? What would she have been saying about this? And it's sort of my way of an homage and a love letter to those women. And
in a lot of ways, providing an escape.
Totally. I mean, that's the basis of all of it.
So let's have a look at the show.
Yep.
So we can analyze in further detail.
Oh, God.
So you haven't seen the show
No, I've not seen the show.
That's very interesting. Why have you not looked back?
I don't know. I don't really look back too much at the shows. You know, I see what you know we'll post on Instagram or something, but I've not actually seen anyone. I also get really freaked out about, because a lot of the stuff is really long, and it's of course a very uneven space, and I get really worried that they're going to trip or, you know,
so you just think better not to.
Yeah, better not to know. Oh, there's Linda.
Okay, so
Linda.
you've mentioned a few of the models, so tell me a bit about the casting.
Of course, it's not relevant anymore to have a casting that is all kind of one type of girl or one body type or one skin color or one language. I mean, obviously that's just antiquated now. Not that it ever wasn't antiquated. But I think for us, you know, I like to have a lot of different heights as well. You don't ever want to stay just at 180 because, of course, the clothes aren't made for one specific type of girl. So it's nice to have a lot of these girls who look a bit different, who walk a bit different. You know, you can have, the clothes look so different on every girl, and it really is, you know, it's not only about the fit. You know, we can always change the fit if something doesn't fit correctly or it's too long or it's too short or whatever, but it really is about how the girl feels in the clothing. And, you know, that's why I like to have a bit of a longer fitting with a girl. Kind of let her walk around in it, hang out, have something to eat, whatever. We try to make the fittings as chill as possible.
Try to let them live in the clothes.
Exactly, because I mean, of course, they have other places to go, and they have lots of things. A lot of them just came from New York since we're on Saturday.
And tell me a bit about designing for a specific shape. You know, we were talking a little bit earlier about, you know, designing for the male gaze and the way that you look at the female form. And you were saying, you know, you don't look at a woman's body in that way. But, you know, as a male designer designing women's wear, how do you look at women's body?
I was raised by so many strong women, and I think you can maybe see when a designer has had a really intense female presence growing up, because at least for me, it comes out in how does my sister want to look, and how does my mom live, and how do my mom's friends live, and how do my sister's friends live, and how do my girlfriends live. And I think again, at least for me as a gay man, it really is this kind of this love letter to them, and it's from hanging out with them and talking to them, and it's a really interesting thing to see how she dresses during the day and how that goes into the evening, and what's appropriate or what is apparently appropriate for her to be wearing and what's not. So it really is a conversation, and I just like to talk to people about how they want to feel and how they want to look and how they want to present themselves, for their female friends, for their male friends, for their male lovers. You know, there are so many different things that I have noticed that women dress for, but I think the most inspiring thing is when they dress kind of for themselves, and when they want to put something on and it makes them feel in a different way, not necessarily how they'll be looked at by someone else or perceived by someone else.
I want to re-pick up on the word appropriate, because it was very heavily referenced in the collection. You're talking about, you know, the idea of appropriate glamour, or what is appropriate or not. Why is that something that has affected you so heavily, this idea?
So many cultures nowadays have seemed to go backwards in so many ways, and people have become a lot more conservative for some reason, and I don't want to say religious, but conservative, I guess is the word I'm looking for. And
are you rebelling against that in a way?
I guess so. Having the dialogue about what is appropriate for day, what is appropriate for evening, why can't there be more extravagant looks during the day? What are these constraints that are happening, and why have they happened so suddenly? I don't know if it's because of governments becoming more conservative, or people being more nervous, or people not having as much money as they used to. I don't know what it's about, but it confuses me constantly.
And you can feel that quite deeply.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's get specific. I want to talk sequins. So I've read before that, you know, all of your fabrics are uniquely crafted, and they're sequins that are sewn into tulle. Now, I have bad memories of sequins, personally.
Why?
So, well, sequins for me indicate like a chafed nipple, if I'm honest. And I think I just have bad sequin memories. Tell me how those sequins feel on a skin, and how that works on a body, and how you drape those.
Yeah, for sure.
And tell me that they don't chafe on a nipple.
I hope not. No, it's a very real conversation that we have a lot, because there are so many times that you want to have something in sequin and you want it to feel really light, and you don't want it to be cumbersome, because embroidery can be really heavy sometimes, especially when you start to use beading and all of that. So sequin by nature is very light in the way it's embroidered, or the way it's made. We do embroidery mostly on tulle, and some on jersey, kind of like a you can use a silk jersey, you can use a rayon jersey. There's lots of nice things that become a bit more, I don't know, kind of like liquidy when you do it like that.
They do look very fluid in motion. Obviously, I only saw them in the show and in images. I haven't felt or touched.
So the way we do it is, sequins are not a rare thing. You can go to Shepherd's Bush, you can go to Walthamstow, you can get it for,
Where do you get your sequins?
We make everything now. But my MA collection, I sourced everything from Shepherd's Bush and Walthamstow. It's not an expensive thing if you want to go buy things that are already made, or if it's extra meterage that has been sold to a store. Exactly, for sure. But you'll never maybe get the quality of what we would make now. The way it's done, we technically, for that kind of two-tone, that flip, you'll have a sequin that is, say, blue on this side and pink on this side, and it's laminated, and we would embroider that. We go a little further apart than a normal kind of sequin embroidery because it makes it a little lighter, it makes it to be able to move a little further. I think we're like, from hole to hole, we're about 4 or 3.5 millimeters away from each other. Which gives it, it's a very, I know it sounds really specific, but it's a very fine line of being something too loose and too sparse, and then being too heavy, and then you can't drape, you can't move with you on the body.
Yeah.
Exactly. So there's a lot that goes into it for a very kind of little,
Makes a lot of sense.
little thing. But we also try not to line embroidery too much, unless it's something that has boning or structure or canvas or whatever. If it is just like a little mini dress or kind of this really long tunic that we want kind of to feel really light, and you can wear it under a suit or with a pair of jeans, whatever, you want it to feel light. So lining that, a lot of people just go straight to lining. Sequin because of the exact, nipple chafing situation.
An issue not just for myself.
No, I think it's a very real thing.
Okay.
But we've sourced so many, and we've developed so many different types of tools that, it's a lot of trial and error in the studio.
Sure. Tell me about the way that you look at clashes.
Yeah.
'Cause it seems very unique to you.
Yeah, I think, for me, I don't start by sketching.
Okay. How do you start?
We research a lot. That's an incredible part of the process that I'm very lucky to be able to invest so much time into. I think it's also something is really drilled into you at St. Martin's, and it's research process is of course really important. Very different from New York as well. But I sketch sort of after I've draped and after I've done collage. So what I'll do is I collage quite a lot in the beginning, kind of literally just cutting things out and putting them together. And it's a process I really, really enjoy, and I'm so happy I get to do it a lot. So I start by collage, and it's a really easy way to be like, oh, that should go there. And that process is really natural to me, and it's really based on, gut instinct and what you feel kind of just naturally goes together, and challenging what should go together, and that kind of hideous trouser should never be with that beautiful vintage skirt, that sort of thing. So I do a lot of that, and we do, thankfully we have a big wall in the studio now. We can put everything up, and we can put groups, and we can kind of re-collage once something is collaged, and that's how I start. And then I'm very hands-on. I like to drape almost everything, even if it's a t-shirt, even if it's a pair of slacks or kind of a weird trouser. I try to do everything myself first. Of course, I can't do everything anymore. But again, I am a little bit of a control freak.
Yeah. So you try and keep your hands where you can.
Yeah, I mean, draping, of course, is a huge part of my work.
Yeah.
And I'm not a person who, a lot of people drape on the half side of a mannequin. Yeah. I don't like to do that because I'm not specific enough, and I'm not tailoring enough. I like to do a whole thing, and I find for a garment it's nice to have kind of one big motion, and you can't do that on a half. Or at least I don't feel you can do that, or I can't do that. So I just put on music. I like to drape. You can really lose time just.
What do you listen to?
Just doing it.
When you were designing this collection, what?
We were listening to a lot of Candy Stanton. Do you know her?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
Like Candy. What else were we listening to? A lot
Donna
of Whitney.
Summers was playing.
Of course,
during the show.
always Donna, always Diana, always Cher, always Dolly Parton.
Just hitting all my references.
Jolene isn't of course, it's the best song.
Yeah.
Also, I Will Always Love You by Dolly, the original.
Okay.
So good.
I'm going to have to show you my SHOWstudio playlist.
Yeah.
As well. And Michel Guibert did the music for you
Yes.
this season. Have you worked with Michel before?
Yes, he did the last show and this show, and he's amazing. His musical reference knowledge
His repertoire is
amazing.
Are you quite control freaky there as well?
Actually, not.
You relinquish control with the music.
Yeah, it's nice. What's so nice about him is he's so lovely and he's so knowledgeable that you can
trust.
give one kind of reference of like, oh, but you can do this and do that and do that. It's really nice, and it's nice because he brings this kind of like this little boombox and we just listen to music. It's really fun. It's really
I want to look at some details.
Yeah.
Let's just get some up. We've been sent some over. I just want to hear a few of your thoughts about those. So we're looking at these accessories and the sunglasses. I want to know a bit about the decision to have the girl's hair sort of pulled back and these thin sunglasses paired with these very, very big, bold looks.
Yeah. So it's when, I didn't think we were going to use sunglasses.
Why did you?
I felt it's something, it's so much more of a product than I feel clothing is because it's hard and it's very, you can't manipulate it once it's done. It's done and you have a shape. And
so did you design the sunglasses?
No, we worked with Anna Karen Carlson. She's incredible, and Patty introduced us to her just to do a few pairs of sunglasses, and it was so much fun because I don't know anything about how you make sunglasses and all the different tints and engraving. And
but you knew what you wanted.
Yeah. When Patty and I were first talking about sunglasses, we didn't want kind of these big 70s referential things. It was really nice to have.
It felt very much more modern to have these
for sure.
sunglasses.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah, and they were these weird abstract shapes that weren't the same, so it works within the clothing, and we were able to make different lenses, different colors, and kind of different sheens, and they have these kind of weird bird claws on them. They're and up close, they're so beautiful.
I'd love to see some up close,
I'll show them to you. They're fabulous. So
and are those going into production? Are you going to have those?
No, I don't think so, no. But also we work with Lynn Bond for the jewelry, and those she makes for she's incredible, and she's so lovely, and she has such an incredible knowledge of fashion and history. I mean, any reference you give her, she'll be like, oh, that's, Cher from whenever, she's incredible like that.
And the shoes, I coveted those mules. So they had this drunken heel.
Yeah.
Those mules.
They're amazing, and I'm so happy to be working with Christian Louboutin. They're all so wonderful there and so supportive, and they really make things happen for you. It's incredible.
Looking back, what are your feelings about this collection, if you can think of it as a moment?
I can't believe how many different things are in there. It's so it's looking back on it. We work. It's amazing that we're still such a small team and we're able to do something that we love, and it's so exciting to see the work that was done and how everyone works so hard, and ideas that have, since you work so far and ahead now, it's kind of like reintroducing yourself to the collection. Looking at it now, it's weird. It's really exciting.
And are you looking ahead now, currently, to your next collection?
Yeah.
You're already thinking?
Definitely, yeah, for sure.
And you're still thinking about women's wear and the women's form? There's no chance you're thinking of moving into designing for a male
For
form?
men's. Not right now, no. But that's not to say that men don't wear it now, because they do. I get so many guys who like send us a picture of them out in a pair of flares or a polo neck, and it's so beautiful to see how someone else would interpret. Like I saw this guy in Paris wearing a polo neck with like a sequin polo neck with a beautifully tailored suit and kind of like these incredible bruges. And it was so beautiful. It was so masculine, like hyper masculine.
Traditionally.
Yes, like all of this kind of beardy stuff. He was so hot.
Would you consider, reflecting that market in the casting of your next show, perhaps?
Maybe. We
Very traditionally masculine.
Yeah, we saw a couple guys this season. Maybe, yeah. Could be great.
You're leaving me on a possible.
Yeah, possible.
All right, well, Michael, thank you very much for talking to me about your Autumn Winter 18 show.
Thank you.
Thank you.